I hope this records. It might not record. If it doesn't, then I'll read it again. This is now chapter 26 of Matthew. We've well established now that the expectation of the Lord Jesus Christ and his disciples, apostles, that his second coming would happen in their generation, that the destruction of the Jerusalem and the temple would happen, and that the Pharisees and the scribes, we will learn later, would be the synagogue of Satan, as it is called, will be judged on their generation. Which then begs the question, why is everybody waiting for it to happen in the future if they claim to believe what Jesus said? Anyways, said and did. So. And it came to pass as Jesus finished all these sayings, and he said unto his disciples, Know ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people, and unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Cephas, and consulted that they might take Jesus subtly and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people, because the Lord knows the world's more important than God. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of precious ointment, poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world of Israel and the Roman Empire, and then to this point, even to the whole world, right? There shall also that this woman hath done, and be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they coveted with him for 30 pieces of silver. From that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast was of unleavened bread. The disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? He said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master, remember calling him my Master, for there's only one, saith, My time is at hand, I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? He answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. That doesn't sound too good for Judas. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? And he said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took the bread and blessed it and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am raised again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. And Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet I will not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And he went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. He came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. He left them and went away again, and prayed a third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and said unto them, Sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came with him, a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he, hold him fast. Forthwith he came to Jesus, and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they, and laid hands on Jesus, and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand, and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest, and smote off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into thy place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? And that same hour said Jesus to the multitude, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hand on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Cephas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus, to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses. Isn't it 2 false witnesses? And there would be 2 candlesticks in the last days. So. And said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest rose, said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee? But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said unto him, Thou hast said, nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, coming in the clouds of heaven. What does he say there? One more affirmation, one more prophecy, one more validation that he would come back in their generation. Who did he say that would see him in the right hand of power, coming in the cloud of heaven? Oh yeah, the high priest. I guess that would be Cephas. What the hell's his name again? I can't ever say his name. Cephas. Cephas. Why can't I say Cephas? Anyways, the important thing in all that is that Jesus said once again that they would see him in the second coming. They would see him. Not you and I. They would. That generation would see it. So that's another one. It's Mathew 26, another verse verifying the words of Jesus, his expectations that he is second coming, what happened in their generation, not our generation. I'm going to harp on this until you guys wake up. If anybody will wake up. Actually, nobody's listening anyway, so that one person will wake up who hears the words. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now we have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palm of their hands. Gosh, can you imagine that? It's bad enough to another human being. Literally, God in the flesh they're doing it to. They're damning themselves so bad it's ridiculous. Saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, Who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the place, and the damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto him that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. Again he denied with an oath, But I do not know the man. After a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. I imagine he would. Incredibly disappointing. Matthew 27. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. Who killed Jesus? The chief priests and the elders. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 3 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. I wonder how he saw him being condemned, or Jesus being condemned, or himself being condemned, saying, I have sinned in that I betrayed an innocent blood. And they said, What is it to us? See thou to that. He cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces, and said, It is not lawful to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel, and bought with them a potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken of Jeremiah the prophet, saying, They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? He answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now at the feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas, or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. And when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release to you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do than with Jesus, which is called Christ. And they all said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified, condemning themselves. Isn't that amazing? And when Pilate saw that he could not prevail of nothing, but that rather atonement was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people, saying, His blood on us and on our children. Why anybody wants to support Jews, Jewry, or want to be a Jew, after hearing that, is beyond me. I'll put an ice pack here on me. Whew, it's hot. That's what they said. His blood be on us and our children, damning themselves completely. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had planted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto the place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, and cast lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the prophet. They parted my garments among them, upon my vesture did they cast lots. Sitting down, they watched him there. Set up over his head was his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then there were two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and the other on the left. They that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple, and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests, mocking him with scribes and elders, said, He saved others, himself cannot save. If he be King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same at his teeth. That's interesting. Now, from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. About the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there when they heard that, said, "This man called for Elias." Straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. And the rest said, "Let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him." Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the grave after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. That must have been one hell of a sight. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, "Truly, this was the Son of God." And many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him. Among which was Mary Magdalene, and the Mary of the mother of James, and Jose, Joseph, or I don't know how you say it. Jose? I don't know. I'm going to figure out how to say this name. I always want to say Jose, but it's Joseph. I'm retarded, and I'll be the first to admit it.
How do you? Jose's. Pretty straightforward once you know.
Jose's. Yes, I am retarded. I am. I'm mildly retarded, to say the least. Of course, if you had MS and things that I've gone through, you'd be mildly retarded as well. Anyways, where are we at with all this? Jose's and the mother is Zebedee's children. And when the evening was come, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. And he went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus, and then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own tomb, which he had hewed out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed, the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, "Sir, we remember that the deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. And commanded therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead. So the last era shall be worse than the first." Pilate said unto them, "You have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as ye can." So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and sitting at watch. Chapter 28 of Mathew, in the last chapter. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn, towards the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning. That's pretty interesting. Wow. And his raiment was white as snow. And for fear of him the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come and see the place where the Lord lay. And go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee, and there shall ye see him. And lo, I have told you. And they departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word. And as they went to tell the disciples, behold, Jesus met them, saying, All hail. And they came and held him at his feet and worshipped him. Then said Jesus unto them, Be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me. Now when they were going, behold, some of the watch came into the city, and showed unto the chief priests all the things which were done. And when they were assembled with the elders, they took counsel, and they gave large money unto the soldiers, saying, Say ye, his disciples came by night, and stole him away while we slept. And if this come to the governor's ears, we will persuade him and secure you. So they took the money and did as they were taught. And this saying is commonly reported among the Jews until this day. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Jesus had appointed them. Now, when he says this day, he's not talking about our day. He's talking about the day when allegedly this was first shared or transposed, right? This gospel in the first century. Okay. And they went and they worshipped him, and okay. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Jesus had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and on earth, and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. What nations? The nations of Israel. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world of Israel, of the Jews, or of the age. Amen. Not the end of this world that we and I think of in 2022. There you go. We are done with Matthew, or I am done with Matthew again. And let me see if this is already... So if that's already done, then I have to worry about the highlights, because I don't like that. It's one of the new features of this Filmora is highlights. Highlights, and so bright. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I don't know what I'll do next. Do I do another gospel?